Greetings, everyone. Live Life Well TV host Robert Landau here. We are here with another episode of Crazy Fun Facts. Over the last number of episodes, we have been concentrating our efforts to a segment that seems to be widely overlooked in terms of an art. But we've been focusing our efforts on the great American television game show. Yeah, everybody loves to watch them, but rarely is that genre of the entertainment industry recognized as an art form. And no matter what you think of it, I think it is an art form. So that's why we're focusing these episodes of Crazy Fun Facts, as well as our other popular series here on Live Life Well TV, America's Greatest Personalities, on television game shows. America's Greatest Personalities on game show hosts, one per episode as of late. And Crazy Fun Facts, we focus on a specific game show per episode. And the specific game show that we are focusing on this episode of Crazy Fun Facts is the iconic The Price is Right. Right? We'll be right back. We would like to acknowledge the following website, looper.com. So, here's some background information on The Price is Right. I think everybody has seen at least one episode of The Price is Right. I have seen a very special episode of The Price is Right, and I'm going to share that with you shortly. But let's begin. The Price is Right has been a staple of daytime TV, not only daytime game shows, but daytime TV since 1972. The Price is Right just happens to be the longest running game show in American television history. Hosted, of course, by the iconic Bob Barker, which we dedicated an episode of America's Greatest Personalities to. For more than 35 years, Mr. Barker has had that position, and that translates to, get this, 7,000 episodes. Can you even begin to imagine? It's continued to thrive, of course, after Barker's retirement too, under the stewardship of wonderful comedian Drew Carey. When The Price is Right debuted back in 1972, it was actually titled The New Price is Right, a title it kept for a little under a year. So why was it called that when it debuted? It was loosely based on a primetime game show that had aired as early as 1956. It was not such a great show, that one in 56. Contestants guessed how much common products cost and won really kind of small prizes. But in the early 70s, producer Mark Goodson wanted to revive The Price is Right, but CBS told him that, sorry, the concept is outdated. Thank you very much. And that the new standard for game shows was shows like NBC's Let's Make a Deal. Well, Goodson in turn heavily borrowed from that show's raucous circus-type atmosphere, lifting gimmicks such as pulling people out of the studio audience to be contestants, having them play a whole bunch of different interesting games, and utilizing lots of flashing lights and sound effects to get the audience hyped up. It worked. It worked. The audience, if you think about it, I don't think I've seen an episode of The Price is Right where the audience wasn't hyped up. Every game show has a different process for contestant selection. Jeopardy, for example, is quite rigorous, putting prospective guests through multiple written tests, an interview, a live version of the game show against other hopefuls. Deal or No Deal, on the other hand, merely asks contestants to send in a video of themselves acting fun. The Price is Right is far more immediate. On taping days, contestants, studio audience members, line up for as long as 4 hours outside Bob Barker Studio at CBS Television City in Los Angeles. Then, 10 at a time, they're herded in front of a producer who asks each of them one question, where they've got to show off a sparkling personality and lots of energy. Only about 100 people or so get picked to sit in the studio audience, and the lucky contestants find out if they've been selected only when the announcer calls their name during the live broadcast. So you're 100 people sitting in the audience of The Price is Right, but you don't know until the show actually starts taping live whether you'll appear as a contestant or not. In 2008, a huge Price is Right fan by the name of Terry Knies, K-N, I think it's Knies, I don't even know how to pronounce that, K-N-I-E-S-S, Terry? Why do you have a name that's so difficult to pronounce, for goodness sake? But let's just call him Terry K, okay? He was picked to come on down to Contestants Row. He made it all the way to the Showcase Showdown, where he did something that nobody else in the show's history had ever done before or since. He guessed the exact price of his prize package. Taping stopped for almost an hour, with producers expecting to turn up some kind of cheating. They thought maybe that's what had happened. But Mr. K came up clean. He'd watched the show every day for years and realized that many prizes were often repeated. He simply memorized all their values and added them up in his head during his appearance. He won a karaoke machine and a pool table, among other prizes. Finding a replacement for Bob Barker, once he announced his retirement, as you can probably guess, was anything but easy. The search was so difficult, in fact, that he even offered to delay his retirement if a new host couldn't be found in time. He did get to say who would take over. That's Bob Barker had a say in that, along with other executives from CBS, the show's production company, and other staffers. A number of candidates auditioned and all hosted a mock non-broadcast episode, including George Hamilton, Ian Zierling, Mario Lopez, John O'Hurley. John O'Hurley, you know from many different things, but his many appearances on Seinfeld as Elaine's boss. And if those guys weren't enough as auditioneers, Double Dare host Mark Summers also auditioned as well. Summers was reportedly Barker's choice, but he didn't end up with the gig. Antiques Roadshow host Mark Wahlberg also missed the cut, and like Summers, has gone on to host the touring Price is Right Live. Rosie O'Donnell was also rumored for the job, but publicly took herself out of the running. Carrey, was finally offered the gig in the summer of 2007, not Jim Carrey. Now that actually would have been very interesting. But I don't know if Jim Carrey would have gone with a gig like that. But interesting to think about it, huh? Wow. But yes, Drew Carey was finally offered the gig in the summer of 2007 after CBS chairman Les Moonves was impressed while watching him host the premiere of the game show Power of 10. A lot of Price is Right episodes may end with a winning contestant sitting in the brand new car they've just won, but they do not drive it off the set and all the way home, just in case you might want to know. Instead, the show sets up winners with a Los Angeles car dealership, who then works with a dealership in the winner's hometown, and then they get to pick up their car, but only after they pay the taxes and registration fees on the automobile first. And speaking of taxes, they're due the day of the episode's taping. California law counts any prizes or money won on game shows as income, and taxes have to be paid before the prizes can be awarded. For example, if a contestant wins a car, they'll have to pay at least $1,000 in taxes right there in the Price is Right studio. Many contestants just use the cash won in other games on the show to pay those taxes. So there you go. Hopefully you learned a couple of new things about the incredible The Price is Right. I alluded to before about a special episode of The Price is Right, and I'll just explain that very quickly before we close this episode. I saw a taping of The Price is Right. Now, I was not in the audience hoping to be a contestant. I was a guest of the producer of the show. And I saw the whole thing from the moment everybody comes in and takes their seats until the moment everybody leaves. And Bob Barker was the host that day. It was so wonderful to see. I have to tell you, first of all, it ran like clockwork. It was just so smooth from beginning to end. And Bob Barker was amazing. His presence was just so, I don't know how to put that in words. He was very professional, very kind, very peaceful, very calming, very friendly. While the commercials were on, between takes, so to speak, he would chat with the audience. He would chat with the contestants. He had a repartee with the show's announcer, who was iconic. It was just so wonderful to see. And let me tell you something. The excitement in that studio was amazing. It was like everybody was sitting 5 inches off their seat. But that's The Price is Right. A truly, truly wonderful show that deserves all the awards it's gotten over the years and that Bob Barker has gotten over the years. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Robert Landau with another episode of Crazy Fun Facts. Thank you so much for tuning in.